Every hour, on the hour, a crowd gathers in the heart of Prague. They are not waiting for a dignitary or a parade. They're waiting for a clock. But this is no ordinary clock. As the hour strikes, a skeleton, the grim personification of death, pulls a rope and rings a bell. A set of blue doors above swings open, and a parade of carved wooden figures, the 12 apostles, emerges, turning to gaze out over the square. This magical performance has played out for centuries, but behind the beautiful facade lies a dark and terrifying legend. The story says that when its creator, a brilliant clockmaker named Master Hanus, completed his masterpiece in the 15th century, the city councilors were overcome with pride and paranoia, fearing he would build a greater clock for another city. They broke into his workshop and blinded him with a red-hot poker. In his final act of revenge, the blind master stumbled back to his clock, climbed the tower, and threw himself into its complex gears, cursing it. The clock instantly stopped, and for nearly a century, no one in the world was smart enough to fix it. Is this just a ghost story told to tourists? Or does this dark legend hint at the profound, almost supernatural secret of how a medieval machine, a clock that shouldn't work, is still ticking today? To understand the clock, you have to journey back to the 14th and 15th centuries. Prague was not just a city, it was the capital of the Holy Roman Empire, a thriving metropolis of art, science, and alchemy. It was a city that wanted to project its power and intellect onto the world stage. And what better way to do that than with a monumental clock, a marvel of technology that would be the envy of all Europe. But calling the Prask horloge, or Prague horloge, a clock is a profound understatement. Its primary function isn't just to tell you the time of day. It is an astronomical clock, a miniature mechanical universe built to reflect the heavens as the medieval world understood them. It is a geocentric cosmos, a philosophical engine with the Earth at its center, all rendered in breathtaking beauty and complexity. The main dial is an astrolabe, one of the most sophisticated scientific instruments of the age. The stationary blue circle at its center represents our Earth. The golden sun circles it once a day, moving through the concentric rings of color that represent dawn, daytime, dusk, and the black of night. A second pointer carries the moon, a beautiful silver and black sphere that mechanically rotates to show its current phase, waxing and waning in perfect sync with the real moon in the sky. Behind them all, a larger ring, emblazoned with the signs of the zodiac, slowly turns, charting the sun's path through the constellations over the course of the year. Below this celestial dance is the calendar dial, a massive plate adorned with intricate paintings by the 19th century artist, Joseph. It features the 12 signs of the zodiac and, in a larger ring, 12 scenes of peasant life, each representing a month of the year. This entire dial completes just one rotation every 365 days. The clock's genius is that it simultaneously displays 3 different time systems. Old Bohemian time, where the new day begins at sunset. It's Babylonian time, where the day is divided into 12 unequal hours from sunrise to sunset. And the modern 24-hour cycle we use today? It is a symphony of moving parts, a mechanical prayer offered to the glory of God and the genius of man. For centuries, the legend of the blinded Master Hanus was accepted as fact. It was a perfect story of genius, betrayal, and revenge. But it was a lie. In the 1960s, a historian discovered a hidden document. It's an old astronomical manuscript that revealed the clock's true origins. The dark legend was a 16th century fabrication, likely created to add mystique and explain the clock's frequent breakdowns. The real creators were of Kodok, a master clockmaker, and Jan Zindel, a brilliant professor of mathematics and astronomy at Charles University.
Ow.
They designed and installed the first parts of the clock in the year 1410. Hanus was a real clockmaker, but he only repaired the machine decades later. The clock wasn't born from a curse. It was born from a collaboration between the greatest scientific and engineering minds of the age. But its history was far from smooth. After the devastation of the 30 Years' War in the 17th century, Prague fell into decline, and its magnificent clock was neglected. It stopped working for long periods, became a piece of rusty, forgotten junk. In the 1780s, the city almost sold it for scrap metal. It was saved only by the passionate intervention of a local patriot. The clock survived centuries of neglect, but its greatest test came in the its dying days of the Second World War. on May 8, 1945. During the Prague Uprising, Nazi forces, in a final spiteful act of destruction, shelled the old town hall. The building was engulfed in flames. The fire consumed the clock tower, destroying the wooden apostles, melting the calendar dial, severely damaging the ancient internal mechanism. The heart of Prague had stopped beating. For a moment, it seemed the curse of Master Hanus had finally come true. But the people of Prague refused to let their symbol die. In a monumental act of national pride and resilience, the city's finest clockmakers, woodcarvers, and artists came together. They painstakingly reverse-engineered the medieval machinery, recarved the lost apostles from linden wood, and restored the astronomical dial to its former glory. 3 years later, in 1948, the clock ticked once more. The survival of the clock is a miracle. But the true wonder, the thing that baffles engineers to this day, is the mechanism itself. Much of the original 1410 ironwork still exists, 600-year-old machine that still functions with astonishing precision. It is, in essence, an analog computer. It is driven by 3 massive interconnected gears, each over a meter in diameter. One gear with 365 teeth turns the zodiac ring once a year. Another with 366 teeth drives the sun pointer, automatically accounting for the leap day cycle. The third, with 24 teeth, governs the 24-hour dial. These 3 gears, working in perfect concert, form the main engine of the astrolabe. But the real secret, the part that borders on impossible, is the mechanism that controls the moon. The moon's orbit is complex and irregular. To model both its position and its phases accurately requires incredibly complex calculations. The 15th century masters solved this problem with a differential gear system of stunning ingenuity. A hollow shaft with an offset pin drives the moon's sphere, simultaneously rotating it to show the phase while moving it at the correct variable speed across the sky. This level of mechanical engineering, its ability to translate complex celestial equations into physical iron gears, rivals the conceptual genius of the ancient Antikythera mechanism. It simply shouldn't have been possible with the tools and metallurgy of the medieval world. Yet here it is, and it works. So we return to the square, to the crowd looking up as the hour strikes. They are watching more than just a quaint tourist attraction. They're witnessing a survivor, a machine that has outlasted empires, wars, fires, and ideologies. It is the literal and metaphorical heartbeat of Prague, a symbol of the resilience of human ingenuity and the enduring power of a city that refused to let its soul be extinguished. The skeleton that rings the bell is no longer just a morbid curiosity. It is a powerful representation of time itself, the one force to which we all must bow. And the parading apostles are not just puppets. They are a testament to the faith of their creators' faith in their God, faith in their city, and faith in their own ability to build a working model of the universe. The clock's greatest marvel is not that its gears still turn, but that it was ever conceived at all. It is a mechanical prayer, a cosmic map built from iron and genius, reflecting a deep human need to understand our place in the universe. It reminds us that even in what we might call a darker age, people looked up at the heavens with a sense of wonder so profound. They found a way to bring its magnificent silent dance down to earth for all to see. The Prague clock captured a vision of the medieval cosmos. But what happens when an ancient artifact captures a vision of our own future? If you were mesmerized by this mechanical marvel, you must explore the cryptic prophecies of Nostradamus. The man whose 16th century manuscript has been a source of fascination and terror for 500 years.